Now, given that I am from a business school, we are here training students to become. Now, the fact is that we are told that our students must be AI ready to be, ready to be hired. That is something. The other problem that AI is creating for us is if we give an assignment, it is an AI assignment. And the problem is that if we ask them to do a presentation, they make more better presentations than they ask, but they cannot connect with it. And for us, I have always, not used ChatGPT even, because for us, it is always, we were ingrained with that originality is something that if you do it. So that is one thing that matters to me as an instructor, whether I should apply AI or not. And the other thing is hallucination. So before we quickly end it, we may not be able to have one round of each. How do you ensure that the output coming out of AI is not hallucinated? To tell you one problem that we had, Google Maps. I was doing Google Maps and I was told to take a very short cut, and this is a footpath kind of road where only people can go through but the thing, and then this was roundabout Kharagpur or something, and then we had to go all the way to Kolkata and back to so this way. So how do you how can you be cautioned when wrong things are being taken, decisions by AI advice?
I think I can give one good example. 2.5 years back, when the ChatGPT came in, my daughter was studying in Stern, undergrad. So she called me and said, "Is it ethical? Because I'm going to fool the class."
Yep.
Okay. Next week, I think she came back and said, "Professor said, please do everything in ChatGPT. Legalize it."
Yep.
And whole Stern is a very prestigious B school. They are very, very clear. You do in ChatGPT, come and present. I will ask you questions. And they've changed everything.
But that's right. Actually, I mean, a lot of universities, especially in the US, are actually saying that you use AI to do it. Because see, the reality is whether you like it or not. AI, when they, finally we are talking in the corporate world of using AI, right? You can't, in the college, tell them you can't use AI and then still want them to be AI ready when they join the corporate. So there is...
The question here is that, what is...
How will you be AI ready without using
See, I think
AI
you should not look at AI being the one which is, so all of us, if we have to present the same sort of, or prepare the same presentation, we might all use ChatGPT or any other sort of AI tool, but we all come out with different presentation because we've all input something different. So I think what is important is that what is your idea?
Oh yeah, but what he's saying is where we got educated in a space where originality was ingrained, and that's a fact that the content is yours, the design, the optics is what you are using, we are using AI for, but we would not compromise on a content that does not fit our original template. Now, I think the hallucination part is believing that the means is the end in itself, which is what AI is the ecosystem with which you can improvise their content. And how would one decide or police or regulate that? There has to be governance, and there is zero governance right now as a body of governance on AI. And academics, I believe, is the most vulnerable. If they don't get that right, we are generally producing students who are non-thinkers. I don't know how long would they survive, because AI will go through its evolution on an hourly basis, and one day there'll be...
To give you an example, if the task be storytelling, our grandmothers have done storytelling and we've heard it with apt attention without any things, and now AI can also do storytelling with fancy PPTs and fancy this thing, and somebody mechanically reading out, which will hold your attention. I mean, the thing is that,
no, but I think we are underestimating AI in that manner. See, one, I think the skill required has changed. Earlier it was about giving the right answer. Today it is about asking the right questions, right? So we are talking of new careers that will come up. Prompt engineering is a new career. I mean, I'm sure Gop mentioned that he's using for research, for automating research, he's using AI. There is very specific way that you have to give the input to the engine so that it doesn't hallucinate. You have to tell it, use only this, don't use any other data. If you use any other data, it will start hallucinating.
Professor, the idea is also that there is a human layer.
Yeah.
The validation of human layer is still continues to be there even today.
Yes.
So the fine line is what you said, is it ethical or non-ethical from a student's perspective? My view is that it's ethical. It's a mindset all institutions has to pass through that. If you look at US, most of the institutions have crossed that, saying that I've legalized it now. You go and do it. This is the way the world will see you.
I mean, there was a time when use of calculators was not allowed in
Yeah.
the exam room, right? I mean, yeah.
You're the worst part.
You're the worst part.
92.
Yeah,
92
exactly.
bad.
Yeah. So calculators not allowed. Can you imagine that?
Accounts.
But
Yeah.
because you need to be able to solve mathematics yourself, right, in your own mind, which was good skill. We all come from that age, but now can you think about that? So AI is also, as you rightly said, is a tool with your human layer where you can decide what is the kind of prompt you give, the kind of answers you get, and are you able to then explain it, understand it, and explain it to somebody else?
So if I could, Professor, if I could just add my technical hat on this. So one of the big reasons why AI projects fail, and it's a topic of discussion in most boardrooms today.
Yeah.
What's the ROI from the AI investments have been? Right? It's the biggest topic that we all debate. Right? And the big reason why it fails is because your data is not, it's junk, it's garbage. Most of your systems don't talk to one another. So you've got scenarios where you've got silos of data sitting around which don't talk to each other. You're not able to reconcile, you're not able to get right outputs. So from your point on the hallucination, to the second point that you made, that is a challenge where you need, and to the point that Gop was making, it cannot be where you just blindly take the output and just go with it. You need a validation, you need the model to get trained. As you train it better, it gets sharper. So that's point number one. Point number two, to the point of your critical thinking and making sure you have those faculties which students need to have, I think that's where, as teaching, and I am a visiting faculty at NMIMS, so I teach digital transformation for the kids over there. And this is one of the biggest things that I see, where how can you make it practical enough where you know they're going to use the AI tools to come up with their case study answers. How can you probe them, whether it's during the quizzes, during the classroom case discussions, for it to be where their critical thinking gets exposed, and if they've just blindly taken an output from AI and they're playing it back, you're able to catch them on over there. I think that's where the challenge for academia comes in, because you're being forced to kind of go out of what you're traditionally been used to kind of start saying, now how do I kind of get this? Because it's not learning by rote. It's not saying that I've got some formulae, I've got a bunch of ways to calculate DCF, to calculate free cash flow and so on. Now I need to actually say, if this is the scenario, and I give you a way to kind of play out a case, what is going to happen? How do you kind of play with it? I think that's the critical thinking.
Let me give
into
another
play.
example. I think I met one of the professors from the very prestigious institution of US. He says that when I used to present case studies, okay, I knew that this is going to be the answer. Today I can't predict the answer.
Can't. Correct.
To give you an example, we are hiring students during MBA, for the MBA. I asked them, please write down, please tell me the equation of the standard deviation or something like that. He says, I don't remember standard deviation, but I remember the R code of, to get the standard deviation. So how do you...
That's enough, right? In a corporate world, for example, if somebody asks you to answer what is the standard, gives a data, you have got a data to do standard deviation. You don't need to know the definition of standard deviation and the formula of it to get the answer of standard deviation, right? You don't need that, right? That's not required.
We go to hire technical grads for coding. The guy tells us, why are you asking me to do this? I'll just put it across on Copilot or a ChatGPT or a Gemini or any of my, whichever my poison is, and I'll get that. Why do you need me to kind of go and do this old fuddy-duddy way of...
Many of the accounting, for example, accounting standards, many of the accounting standards in the past used to be memorized and things like that. Now you don't have to memorize any of those things, right? Because it's all available. You just put the numbers, it will come out as per.
So there are two sides of the coin over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Can I?
No, I'm just saying, so it is
Sides of
possible.
the coin over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So, what kind of people should we hire?
He needs some support. Can you please
People
help
who
him?
go by
He
first
doesn't know that the support is
principles,
coming.
people
He
who go
doesn't
by
know the support.
first principles, this to this to this, people go by logic of first principles,
given up
or
on you
people
also.
who are technically
Everybody's
savvy.
against
I
you.
mean, whom do you hire?
Professor, he's supporting you.
He's supporting you. Please ask him to speak.
If you want.
I think people who have learning agility, because situations are not going to be constant, they're going to change. Today is AI, tomorrow is advanced something. A person who has the ability to quickly unlearn, learn quickly, and make that a sense of knack, which is learning agility, nothing else. Very old cliched. But truly, that's that's the learning velocity we're talking about. Ability to quickly unlearn, pick a new one, and be able to move on. So learning how to learn is the only important skill that as academicians we should teach them, because they will be fads and fashions, they will dial up. And you and me and none of us can hold it. So it's so fast. It's a tsunami happening. So and the reason why professors must just dive into it is to know how they trick it. Therefore, you know where to catch them, right? Somebody said catch them at the concept level and grill them there. You cannot do that if you don't know how AI really responded to you on that question. Then you know what are the loopholes. So you're learning how they should not trick you is the reason why AI, otherwise AI is not necessarily very romantic for you or for us, because we've had some real ground learning pathways.
But then if you look at it at a very high level, what is the value addition universities are bringing under the AI environment, right? What exactly are you going to teach the students which AI can't teach? So it's more about the culture, right? That how this AI has to be used for them to be more efficient and to make a successful career. It's not just about understanding the technical concepts. Of course, that's something that is AI assisted now, but at the same time, how they can be successful in their career with this addition of new technology. That's point number one. But then also we have to look at today. I mean, of course, AI is everywhere, but where it is coming from? Primarily US. How much of money is invested in it? $17 trillion. The kind of valuations that you see of the companies, does it really justify? You was talking of ROI. Absolutely not. So somebody's decided that there's a value add of $20 trillion or dollars coming from AI. So that's how I'm going to put this kind of money. Now, we have to be consequent of the fact that is it really adding that kind of value in our ecosystem? Of course, the West is going to go gung-ho, but you also need to know that US military has filed a case against one of the leading AI companies because they do not know now how to deal with that AI in their US military systems, and that organization has sort of completely been hands off that I can't deal with this anymore. And so now they are actually fighting in the US justice courts. So it's not easy to just say that how are we going to implement AI at a universal level. But at the same time, we have to be very clear that at an organizational level, it will definitely get adopted if it is bringing business value. And therefore, to that extent, there will be some laggards and there will be somebody who will be ahead of the curve, and both of them will have to converge so that it is adding value. From the academia point of view, of course, it's a big challenge. It is going to disrupt. And for that, obviously, it's a completely challenging journey.